Hello, this is World University and Schools news and question. This is World University and Schools monthly business meeting on Saturday, 1/2/23, January 21st, 2023. And hello from Pennsylvania at noon Eastern time. And as we wait to see if people will join us, I'll begin with a first step into the agenda for today's monthly business meeting, loosely conducted in the manner of friends. So World University and School is proceeding with licensing, and newly in the state of Pennsylvania, potentially with the state of Pennsylvania's Department of Education, and is working through questions of what street address to use in Pennsylvania. Having moved World University and School, or myself, from California in August to Pennsylvania, partly in seeking asylum even, World University and School has found the opportunity to accredit and license potentially with organizations in the state of Pennsylvania. We're exploring World University and School's physical address here in Pittsburgh with three possible addresses. Two of the previous addresses that World University and School has been using in Pittsburgh may be coming to a close. People, myself and what I'll say, abolition auditor, two addresses may be different after August of 2023 or sometime this year. So we probably won't use these two addresses in seeking to license with first the state of Pennsylvania, Department of Education, and then an in tandem process with Middle States Commission on Higher Education with offices in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And that brings me to agenda item 1A, accreditation with Middle States Commission on Higher Education with offices in Pennsylvania, what address to use potentially in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, for the pre-application process with them, and with thinking in terms of a long-term developments for World University and School with accreditation in Pennsylvania, licensing in Pennsylvania, but potentially myself moving back to the San Francisco Bay Area in September of 2023 with that ongoing address for World University and School of P.O. Box 442, Canyon, California, 94516, east of Berkeley, being a main address for World University and School in California. With accreditation and licensing, this brings me to item 1B in the agenda and news, the opportunity to get, I think, a .edu suffix for our current World University and School.org website is there. When this might occur in a Pennsylvania licensing and accreditation process is another set of questions. World University and School in licensing and accrediting with state of Pennsylvania and Middle States Commission on Higher Education, item 1C, is seeking to matriculate large numbers of students at accrediting World University and School this September 2023. Could we matriculate even 1,000 undergraduate students for free 4-year MIT OpenCourseware-centric bachelor degrees on a new Google US World University and School educational platform, with the first year of courses emerging for that in these upcoming months? And how would that work? Could we matriculate large numbers of students from all 50 US states and from all 200 countries? Are related questions. Agenda item 2, we received a federal 990 card request to fill out. This is something we've done many years in a row now, for the 501c3 World University and School tax-exempt charity entity in the USA. And one question is which address to use for that before the end of January, Pennsylvania or California, and which in Pennsylvania. Agenda item 3, we also received momentously, I think, a paper letter to forwarded from the P.O. Box Canyon 94516 address in the Bay Area to 1401 North Negley Avenue, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania 15206, where Larry Wieland currently lives as the potential upcoming abolition auditor too. And it's a request for a 199N e-postcard for the 2020 tax year in California for the exempt World University and School California legal entity. This is different from the federal World University and School legal entity. And one question there is which address to use, the California address or an address in Pennsylvania for this California Franchise Tax Board 199N. In midsummer of 2022, World University and the WUAS Corporation received a similar request for a 199N from the WS Corporation, from the California's franchise state of California's Franchise Tax Board to the WS Corporation. And we couldn't find the 199N e-postcard online. So instead, we found a 199 form, a longer form, online, I think for the tax year 2021, and filled that out, figured out our taxes and fees, and were able, as a consequence, to add the WUAS Corporation to the WUAS My FTB account generation process. So with this, in agenda item 3 still, 199N request for the exempt World University and School legal entity in California, how to proceed such that World University and School could possibly add this exempt legal entity in the state of California for World University and School to the WUS My FTB account generation process. For this exempt California legal entity in California, World University and School has also, midsummer 2022, filled out another tax form and paid $65 in taxes and fees, a paper check to the California Franchise Tax Board, which was cashed in July. So this request for a 2020 tax year tax form for the exempt World University and School legal entity may give World University and School an opportunity to use an address in Pennsylvania newly. I think we've already sent in this form, but maybe an opportunity for so we can refill out the 2020 tax year form, or it may be possible for World University and School to reiterate the address in California in possibly doing this tax form again. These are all emerging questions. The California Franchise Tax Board has maybe given World University and School the opportunity to develop further filing statements with regard to these two legal entities in California. The for-profit general stock company, WUS Corporation, and the other legal entity, the exempt legal entity in California, World University and School. These will all go into the WS My FTB account generation process with the already third legal entity in the My FTB account generation process of the 501c3 exempt World University and School federal entity, and also with the two bank accounts connected to each of these California legal entities for paying taxes within the WS My FTB account generation process. Getting the addresses all right, and it's a big process. Agenda item 4 is a little bit of a mystery to me. On January 15th, we received a new Google notification that there was possibly a new California Franchise Tax Board form number 592 due that very day, January 15th, 2023. This is all, I'm not sure what the form 592 is about. I'm not sure why Google sent it to us, and that we were maybe supposed to have done it that very day. I'll talk about this further with the Larry Veland, who I think may be becoming an abolition auditor. He's no longer the treasurer, no longer the CFO, no longer the chair of the board of WUAS, both wings, either wing. Agenda item 5, getting on to more educational sides of things. Great to meet a new student of World University and School seeking a free bachelor degree who lives in Nepal, Itahari, Nepal. Tilak is his name. And that we were able to meet in a Zoom video conferencing meeting last Monday, January 16th, 2023. I think it was 10 a.m. in the morning or sometime after that, Pennsylvania East Coast time, and I think it was 8.5 hours later in Nepal, and we had a good long talk. Interesting possibilities for him doing a computer science bachelor's degree, including beginning with the Creative Commons 4 licensed CS first with Google at World University and School Scratch programming language course, which he's working through now, and also for potentially Nepal World University and School, offering free World University and School MIT OpenCourseWare-centric Google World University and School platform degrees, AA, bachelor's, PhD, law, medicine, IB high school, master's, law, I think I may not have mentioned, importantly in the Nepali language. So could Tilak help, one, create this university, two, with the CS First with Google at World University and School course, translate the actual course into Nepali, three, with this CS First with Google at World University and School course, learning the Scratch programming language, could he help find Nepalis to translate the Scratch programming language into the Nepali language? And four, could he be interested in a WUAS home robotics track? And for all of Nepal World University and School, since the Scratch programming language works with Lego robotics kits, and perhaps working with three prototype robots in his home, in his father's home. Lego robotics kits, which World University and School is an official carrier. Two, possibly the Toyota humanoid robot THR3 with its parallel master maneuvering system chair, with possibly a bodysuit that connects eventually wirelessly with the Toyota humanoid robot THR3 next to the student, the coder, for coding the THR3 further, and possibly with third, the Miko 3 little robot that's about 1.5 feet high, and that uses voice operating, natural language processing, machine learning interface with parallels to Google Voice Assistant, to Siri, to Alexa, to other voice systems. And it's for, right now, 5 to 10-year-olds, and apparently most engaging. So it has much potential as for education for that age, for possibly study mates, for getting students engaged, as students might teach this little robot, as 8-year-olds might teach this little robot further, and learn from this little robot. And with regard to computer science and artificial intelligence and machine learning too, all with voice. So in what ways could Tilak, Reina, Magar help with these 4 possible interesting further developments for Nepal World University and School, which is like Wikipedia with MIT OpenCourseWare? So item 5A is they're out of meeting with Tilak, Reina, Magar this past Monday. He asked a great question: could we have a live computer science class for the CS First with Google at World University and School Scratch programming language course? And yes, we're going to do that tomorrow, beginning at 10 a.m. It's open. You could join this. Actually, Monday, not tomorrow. Monday, January 23rd, 2023 at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, USA. And in what ways could we find more students to join this? Recently been in touch with Mwende Avande from Cameroon, Africa, West Africa, who finished the CS First with Google at World University and School Scratch programming course this past May. Hadn't heard from him since about May, and I think he's going to join this live class too, and all to matriculate into World University and School potentially this autumn, 2023, for free bachelor's degrees as we get our first year of courses further up and running, emerging out of potentially MIT OpenCourseWare. Agenda item 6, in a very great development, the University of California, Riverside in the LA area reached out recently with an online handshake platform recruiting opportunity next Wednesday, January 25th, 2023, for World University in School. And it's, I think, a talk entitled Recruiting Smarter with Data by maybe Jacqueline Barrett. And perhaps World University in School, if we can begin to generate monies, can find our way to creating numerous careers out of this handshake platform at World University in School, from possibly University of California students as interns, graduates as interns, high-achieving California students, perhaps from the 10 University of California campuses, and similar. Agenda item 7, the guidestar.org website for World University in School, as a developing 501c3 nonprofit, tax-exempt charity, World University in School legal entity at the federal level, involves updating it now and then. And I recently tried to update, for example, the chair of the board. That still wasn't possible. I've tried a couple of times in the past year. And there are helpful guiding approaches within the guidestar.org platform to managing an organization. And I think there are maybe 4 levels: bronze, silver, gold, platinum. I think we've gotten through, World University in School as a 501c3 has gotten through the silver platform, silver sort of level, and we have 2 more to go. I think it will help potentially structure our World University in School organization in very interesting generative ways with regard to the 501c3 legal entity, but also with regard to administering World University in School. Looking for more managers and officers and a chair of the board newly that we could add to this guidestar.org site in the upcoming weeks. Item 7A, Alden Briscoe of BrakelyBriscoe.com. Might you be available, possibly please, to become chairman of the World University in School WUaS board, regarding also the World University Foundation? And while Alden Briscoe may be very involved as an executive at BrakelyBriscoe.com and not available, perhaps a search team or process can emerge out of Brakely Briscoe to help World University in School find a chair of the board, for example. Item 7B, the 501c3 status for World University in School, when it's fully instantiated, and with regard to the guidestar.org website, will open remarkable fundraising possibilities, and also regarding the state of California's Franchise Tax Board, WUS, quote, my FTB account, end quote, developments. And as WUAS Pennsylvania accreditation proceeds. So working with a number of different organizations, a number of different website platforms, both in California and Pennsylvania, a number of different bank accounts, seeking to orchestrate these all together with regard to the guidestar.org website, the My FTB account for WUS website, and other state of California franchise tax boards questions. And as a 501c3 nonprofit exempt World University and School entity at the USA federal level. Agenda item 8, we've put out a request to the Scottish Heritage St. Andrew's Society in Pittsburgh for a new treasurer and possibly a WUAS leadership team as well, but haven't heard back as of about a week ago or so. And so I think then that St. Andrew's Society Pittsburgh may not be coming forth possibly, or with a new treasurer, for example, maybe not their treasurer, for example. But it's possible that, or one question that I continue to follow up with, maybe with regard to this St. Andrew's Society Pittsburgh, is could some of these people in the St. Andrew's Society, of which I'm a member, be living in a retirement community in the Pittsburgh area? And could some Longwood community friends help with some of these leadership team questions as well? Could we find a treasurer from Longwood? So these are emerging questions in seeking to develop leadership team and finding a new treasurer, and regarding our request to Scottish Heritage St. Andrew's Society of Pittsburgh. Agenda item 9, possibly in what ways could a Brakely Briscoe search team for WUAS managers and executives, and also as a fundraising team, collaboration develop? And both Alden and Marion Briscoe of BrakeleyBriscoe.com shared a season's greetings email a couple of days ago, Sunday, I think, and shared a number of email addresses in this season's greetings holiday email. And they included some BrakeleySearch.com email addresses, all possibly good news for World University and School, developing executives, developing project managers, developing fundraising, developing a fundraising team that could be remunerative as well. Agenda item 10, WUS could be moving back into Canyon 94516 this September 1st, 2023, question mark. There's some pictures too in the news and agenda, which are in World University and School and my blogs. Interesting set of possibilities. Could World University and Schools WUAS Academic Medical Center with warm water cure, and even a WUAS Longevity Genetics Institute, much of which would be virtual, emerge newly from the physical ground of a new World University and School place in Canyon, California, 94516, that might even have 6 to 10 species for longevity genetics research, physical digital species. So World University and School seeks to move into the digital space, into a realistic virtual Earth for STEM, a realistic virtual Earth for classrooms. And could we also zone ourselves in this possible place agriculturally if we had, say, chickens as one of these 6 to 10 species that we were studying for longevity questions, and bees as another species that we might be zoning for agriculturally and studying for longevity genetics questions, both physically and digitally. Agenda item 11, we're at about the halfway mark. A little bit of concern about a possible death threat in the Carnegie Public Library main branch of Oakland regarding a family member of mine. I was sitting in the Carnegie Library, Oakland's main branch in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the other day, and probably has surveillance cameras. Having been into this library 4 days before that or so with this family member, checked out some sheet music. And as I was sitting in the Carnegie Library, first I think the assistant director might have walked by. I've only seen her behind a mask in the past. And then another person walked by 3 or 5 minutes later, listening to something on her earphones. This assistant director is a female named, I think she's the assistant director, Jen Styron is her name. 5 minutes later, another woman walked by, listening to earphones, and said something, said, "She dies, she dies," as she passed by me. And realizing that surveillance cameras could be playing a role and this could all be on video too, I wondered whether this could have a relationship to my family member, and regarding a guest membership that she gave me for the adjoining in the same buildings complex Carnegie Museums, for which I still haven't received an official membership card. My family member gave me this guest membership in early December, but the membership card 6-7 weeks later still hasn't come, the real membership card. And in my calling also for abolishing the wrongful buying and selling of people, calling for abolition of the illegal sex and drug industries internationally and their latent networks of violence, and wondering about some of these questions even within the Carnegie museums and possibly even in the Carnegie libraries. So unfolding set of questions, hoping to document it here also in the World University and School Monthly Business Meeting on today, January 21st, 2023. Agenda item 12. How soon could MIT OpenCourseWare-centric Wiki World University and School hire and employ tens of thousands of STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics faculty in all 200 countries in major universities, 200 major online universities in these countries, and in those countries' main languages, is an interesting set of questions. If we were to get a large amount of money from the US federal government or similar to build out a Yemen World University and School within a year, at least begin to hire faculty who spoke Arabic and new Yemen cultural educational learning processes, and for the 30 million people there, could we hire 100 Yemen faculty to develop a Google Education World University and School platform within a year? And how to get to tens of thousands of people, hiring STEAM faculty in all 200 countries within a year, within 5 years, within 10 years, as money may begin to come World University and Schools' way. Agenda item 13, Turkey World University and School, planned in the Turkish language. The beginning links to Turkey World University and School in the Turkish language World University and School wiki subject page are in the agenda and news. And in English, though, not yet in the Turkish language. Having met a person from Turkey in the Carnegie Library a few weeks ago, and wondering how we might grow Turkey World University and School, possibly with parallels to Yemen World University and School that I just mentioned in agenda item 12. Agenda item 14, having met a person from Sichuan language, China. It's a region, I think, around Shanghai, in a barber shop in Pittsburgh before Christmas, early December, who's a CMU master's degree student with in computer science, and who has also a bachelor's degree from Duke University, but I think mostly studying in China at the Duke University program there. How soon could we develop Sichuanese World University and School that is MIT OpenCourseWare centric for free online degrees as one language within many of China that we would like to offer free to students, MIT OpenCourseWare centric AA, bachelor, PhD, law, medicine, IB high school, and master's degrees in Sichuan language sooner than later, with related information technology platforms with natural language processing, NLP, and machine learning. For example, Google Translate on within the Google cloud infrastructure IT systems, similar. Agenda item 15, WUS humanoid robotics. One question, having seen a new humanoid robot named Chloe or Huri, it may have been first debuted in China. She speaks in Chinese, I think, in one of the videos I've seen back in 2018, but made by, I think, CyberLife. And there are 3 2018 videos of her in the World University and School agenda. She is an interesting humanoid robot, almost certainly an actress, that World University and School would explore as a humanoid robot, developing and possibly in the Rust Belt of America, if we could, in the Detroit, Michigan, and the many states around that, where World University and School would begin to possibly manufacture these robots, possibly coming to replace or follow after the automobile industry, and possibly, since this is on the academic side, as with Chloe or Huri as teacher and for a learner for human robot interactions, World University School students on an engineering track with a WS home robotics track coding such humanoid robot from their homes, from their rooms, and even to become possibly medical doctors and possibly eventually even surgeons. So could Chloe or Huri, the humanoid robot, become a medical doctor? Could she become a psychiatrist? There's one of the 3 videos in this that are in the World University and School agenda has her in a European PlayStation channel, her almost being a character in a video game, and where the player of the video game, could be you or I, is engaging her, asking her questions within a computer framework, so she can only answer or 1, 2, or 3, 4 questions, or you can only answer 1, 2, or 3, 4 questions, and could have remarkable therapeutic value for gamers, for World University and School possible students, and encoding a possible Chloe or Huri personal assistant robot built by CyberLife as a humanoid robot to become even medical doctors beyond personal assistants, and professors even of surgery, for example. Interesting creation of this humanoid robot that could be very engaging for World University and School students, offer an interesting avenue into World University and School developing humanoid robots beyond with the 3 Lego robotics kits, which the WS Corporation is an official carrier of, beyond the Toyota THR3, beyond MECO 3. And since I think Chloe or Huri, a humanoid robot, is almost certainly an actress, maybe creating a new robot that might engage some of what we see in some of these videos. Agenda item 16, WUAS longevity genetics. Fascinating new article from CNN about the research of a Harvard professor, Sinclair, entitled something like "Old Mice Grow Young Again in Study. Can People Do the Same?" There are pictures of 2 mice in this CNN article, and they're from the same litter, the same mouse litter, so they're brothers and sisters, and one has been prematurely aged. And they're simply illustrative, as I interpret this, of researchers understanding the aging process through molecular genetics in remarkable ways. One of the questions I wonder about is, could they become digitized? In what ways could we take these 2 pictures of these 2 mice, brother and sister from the same litter, and even add them, dragging and dropping them, to mice avatar bots in a realistic virtual Earth for genetics? Think Google Street View with Time Slider, and little Pegman as a mouse avatar bot instead of a human avatar bot. And could, for example, item 18.2, could a Viren Jain, Google programmer working on some of these tensor store TensorFlow AI medical genetics questions, VIRENJAIN. His Twitter feed is StarDazed0. And could a Viren Jain and a Peter Norvig, a head of Google AI, and a George Church, MIT and Harvard professor of genetics in the Harvard Medical School, work through the coding of dragging and dropping these two pictures onto mouse avatar bots and beginning to turn them into 3D virtual reality in Google Street View with Time Slider, and be able to reverse their aging on the digital side with such Google Street View with Time Slider and TensorFlow AI data sets that would then be uploadable back into the mice, the actual mice that these pictures are of, and possibly begin to work with aging reversal genetics questions in a brand new way, in a realistic virtual Earth for genetics. So it's fascinating that the Scratch programming language, which the current course that students can matriculate into World University and School with, called CS First with Google at World University and School. This is item 18.4, agenda item 18.4. It's fascinating that the Scratch programming language can, in a very beginning way, I think, code for cell biology and molecular biology, and to help create biology simulations. So in what ways could the Scratch programming language be something World University and School students could learn, and in order to work with aging reversal genetics questions at the cellular level and the molecular level, and in a realistic virtual Earth for genetics and WUAS VR, so virtual reality that World University and School generates, say, in a realistic virtual Earth, a single realistic virtual Earth, a realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs at the Street View cellular and molecular level Street View with Time Slider. Agenda item 18.5 relates to these questions of genetics and from home, in a sense, do-it-yourself genetics. I'll read the tweet. Many of these agenda item 18s are tweets. Homebrew Club, which helped give rise to the beginning of computer chips and computing back in the 70s, 1970s. Homebrew Club, Home Gene Club, I pulled out the article, or the MIT Tech Review magazine itself from December 2022, titled, "Is There a Limit to Human Life?" which Larry Wieland, MIT alumnus, had given me. I pulled out this issue and wondering how the Twitter header in Viren Jain's Twitter feed, which shows what could be an avatar bot of could become an avatar bot of a human figure that's also sliced as if this avatar bot of a nearly human form could be sliced possibly for surgery. And this avatar bot for a human form in Viren Jain's Twitter feed presently relates to a cube in the bottom right corner. It could be representative of a tensor store cube, where all kinds of data from such an avatar bot, possible electronic medical record, as in the main image in Viren Jain's Twitter feed, could be stored in this tensor store cube. And I'm wondering how in a home gene club, we could begin to work with some of these questions physically, digitally, in a realistic virtual Earth for genetics, and how to even 3D add these two mice pictures from the CNN article to such emerging software and IT genetics platforms. Agenda item 19 in the remaining 10 minutes, and I think there are only about 5 or so more remaining agenda items. Agenda item 19 are the World University and School WUS News and Question and Answer recordings from the past 3 Mondays in January. Agenda item 20, clinical trials at WUAS for all languages. How to create online clinical trials, even of all the remarkable and interesting molecules that molecular chemists and molecular biologists might be generating, geneticists, and send them to people in their homes via packets in the mail in all 200 countries for clinical trials, for people in all 200 countries and speakers of all 7,100 languages in these countries. There's a remarkable opportunity to approach clinical trials in a brand new way. And how could all the data from such clinical trials, sending home pharmaceuticals for people to experiment with as part of clinical trials, sending that data from people's homes into a realistic virtual Earth for clinical trials, into a realistic virtual Earth for pharmacology, even into our avatar bot electronic medical records, potentially for all 7.9 billion people. And how also to regulate these processes so that they don't harm people, so that they're ethical, so that they meet the laws, and even regarding the law enforcement questions of all 200 countries, and benefit people due to rigorous science through greatly conducted clinical trials for speakers of all 7,000 languages. There's a wiki subject page for clinical trials at WUS for all languages, and potentially into a realistic virtual Earth for clinical trials, for pharmacology, for genetics, for brain science, for biology. This was partly retweeting a Twitter post from Rob Califf, MD, who's a fairly new FDA commissioner, US government, Food and Drug Administration commissioner, about the Twitter, his Twitter post reads, "Our clinical research evidence generation system is too slow and expensive, leading to a vast gap between what we need to know about health interventions and what we actually know." And I retweeted this clinical trials picture in this tweet with some of the clinical trials thinking above. So in the remaining 6 minutes or so, I'm going to switch hats to the WUAS Corporation, the WUAS Press, planned in all 200 countries, planned for speakers of all 7,151 known living languages. And agenda item A is something, could WUAS robotics produce humanoid robotics en masse in the Rust Belt of the USA? And how soon could the WS Corporation get such humanoid robots models to market, manufacturing them with iterating artificial intelligence from the Rust Belt and Detroit, Michigan, even also with iterating humanoid robotics. I'm thinking maybe of Kazuo Ishiguro's great book, Clara and the Sun, with it's thinking about different models of robots, a B2, a B3 as they emerge, maybe like paralleling cars, and maybe as the physical humanoid robots from all kinds of companies in a remarkably innovative time, but also especially at World University and School and with new battery developments, possibly transform the world. And could this this robot artificial woman, Chloe O'Huri, be a game changer in some of these regards? In WUAS calling for abolition, and regarding Detroit making, say, Chloe O'Huri robot. Could be a game changer to protect people from the illegal sex industry, from perpetrators, criminals, offenders, purveyors, and potentially through medical education, possibly in 200 online WUAS medical schools. So agenda item B has to do with possibly another autonomous system that the WS Corporation, the WS Educational Services stores, computer stores, robotics stores might carry, and potentially in the Toyota ProAce electric autonomous vehicle camping van, which apparently is scheduled for 3 sizes in the USA, possibly in 2024, arriving in the US, as a single workhorse vehicle. So one wouldn't need a second car. It would be small enough to become a living space, a commuting vehicle, an office space, and even a realistic virtual campus for World University and School with multimedia inside the van. And possibly a small, tall Toyota ProAce electric van, which I haven't seen planned for, but that might even sleep 8 people going up. I could only imagine it currently, as Toyota's plans develop for 2024 for the US, sleeping 4 at the most. How do you get a small, tall, single workhorse vehicle out of it? And could it include also a shower and a sink, both bathroom and kitchen sink, and toilet and similar? And could it be for faculty and graduate student homes even? Interesting possibilities. See the agenda and news. So such an autonomous system as the Toyota ProAce electric with possibly 40 miles per gallon equivalent, autonomous vehicle as an autonomous system, and could a Toyota humanoid robot 3, THR3, as a second parallel autonomous system, be a driver in some of these Toyota ProAce vans? Also, MD robotic surgeon, for example. Agenda item C, WUS home robotics make not only Lego robotics available in all 200 countries through the WS Educational Services stores, but also the Toyota humanoid robot THR3 and its master maneuvering chair, and also Miko 3 for matriculating students to code for from home. And this is something we talked about in last week's WS News and Question and Answer with Tilak Reina Magar in Nepal, and it's in the recording from January 16th, 2023, the second recording, second video. There were 2 WS News and Question and Answers. on January 16th, 2023. It's the one where Tillich is there. His video is not on, but he's speaks. Agenda item D. What ways could World University and School develop Toyota ambulance vans as actual medical schools for 200 countries, medical schools and teaching hospitals, for World University and School medical schools as mobile medical schools, for also WS home surgery, for WS telerobotic surgery, for avatar bot electronic medical records, for a realistic virtual earth for surgery with machine learning, and a realistic virtual earth for robotics, and at the atom and cellular levels too, in these realistic virtual earths for STEM and robotics and surgery and avatar bot electronic medical records. And possibly these Toyota ambulance vans as teaching hospitals and even dorm rooms in the vans. Last item, we're at an hour. Agenda item 3, E. Agenda item E, the Scottish Small Pipes album, the second one, entitled Honey Pibroch, is published. And part of the project here in my creating this was to identify and play on the Scottish small pipes beautifully the most pretty pibroch, classical bagpiping music, Cale Moore, it's also called, the prettiest pibroch I could find. So it's published, it's available online. Check it out. They're free. There are 9 pibroch there presently. Everything from The Desperate Battle of the Birds to Beloved Scotland, to Struan Robertson's Salute. Check it out. Fun creation and interesting to, in some ways, this is the, I think, 7th publication from the academic press at World University and School. 5 books and 2 Scottish small pipe albums. So that's World University and School WUS's monthly business meeting on this Saturday, January 21st, 2023, until Monday, January 23rd, 2023 at 10 a.m. Eastern Time for the WS News and Question and Answer, which may well become a live class teaching the Scratch programming language. And until the next 3rd Saturday of the month in February for this open WS monthly business meeting, I'll post the video recording of this to the World University and School YouTube channel, youtube.com/Scott McLeod World University, and as well to the World University and School Twitter feeds, twitter.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH and twitter.com/WUASPRESS, some other ones as well. Our email address is meeting@worlduniversityandschool.org. Worlduniversityandschool.org is the website address too. Until next time, if you know of students who want to matriculate into World University and School for free bachelor's degrees or PhD degrees, AA or master's degrees, or similar, first in English, email meeting@worlduniversityandschool.org. MIT OpenCoursera centric, potentially Google platform, WS platform as well. Until next time, bye for now. I'm Scott McLeod. This is January 21st, 2023, Saturday. WorldUniversityandschool.org.